Welcome back to the Lost Cause Ranch, and today we have a nice, quick, and easy one for you. You may be able to hear it in my voice, but I'm a tad bit under the weather. Maybe too much hopping around the country doing Land Rover things finally caught up to me. Just kidding, but we're still going to be doing something necessary, but maybe a little more easy than the norm. But speaking of hopping around the country, you guys may remember when we took the old budget LR4 down to Tennessee to pick up Merlin, the other LR4 that needed timing chains. And right before that trip, we made up ourselves this fancy high clearance off-road hitch. So we are all finished up now. We now have 21.5 inches of clearance and installed the trailer light wiring harness. Well, today we're going to finish up the rest of making this LR4 a nice heavy hauler. Now, surprisingly, the LR4 has a 7,716 pound towing capacity, which for the size works pretty well. And as you saw, it did just fine towing another LR4 over 1,000 miles. And the 5-liter V8 underneath the hood has 375 horsepower, which is plenty to drag 7,000 pounds around. And the 4-corner air suspension does a wonderful job of making sure we aren't going down the road looking like a South Carolina boy. But where a problem can lie in something of this size, towing another complete vehicle, especially in the US where we like to tow at 75 miles an hour for some reason, is in the brakes and the overall weight of the LR4 itself. See, a lot of times we're towing with Ted's 2500 Power Wagon, which weighs quite a bit more than whatever we're towing, along with having a much better brake package set up for that specific purpose. With this guy and no trailer brakes, you might run into a situation where the tail starts wagging the dog. And that was not a problem when we towed Merlin back from Tennessee because we were using a U-Haul trailer, which is equipped with surge brakes. And that is where this and this come into play. See, this is a trailer brake controller. This is going to be taking a signal from the LR4 brake switch and zipping it back to the electronic brakes on the trailer itself. So when you hit the brakes, it tells the trailer to brake. And these little arrows here allow you to set how much brake is applied when that happens. You also have your little test button here that activates the trailer brakes on their own. Good for tailgaters. This wasn't necessary when we used the U-Haul trailer to haul Merlin back because that is equipped with surge trailer brakes, which essentially have a hydraulic master cylinder in the tongue of the trailer itself. So as you're braking the vehicle, the trailer starts moving forward against the vehicle, pushing the master cylinder, which activates the trailer brakes and pulls the trailer back to where it needs to be. The problem with that is the only way to activate that is strictly mechanical, and you have zero interior adjustment on how much the brakes are applied. And there are certain scenarios where it is nice to be able to adjust that or just to drag the trailer brakes themselves. You can straighten a messy trailer out with that button sometimes. And now that I've talked your ear off, this is going to take almost no time. And the only supplies we need today are this trailer brake controller and this adapter. This goes to the vehicle side, this goes to the trailer brake controller, and ironically enough, this guy is plugging right into a Land Rover and isn't a very special part. Same thing as like a 2004 Ford F-250. You can find this anywhere. I mean, maybe not anywhere, but it is much easier to find than something Land Rover specific, especially in Iowa. And for this very difficult task, our tools today are going to be a Phillips screwdriver, and optionally, we have a single zip tie and a side cutters for said zip tie. This is almost comically easy. We have a screw here and a screw here. Gone. We got a clip here, and we're going to sneak this out without taking the side panel off by pulling this down and just kind of bending that around. We have one wire to disconnect. That is easier with two hands, but still doable with one, maybe. And that guy can be set in the dirt for a second. And that is all the access we need to make this install happen. So we're going to follow the brake pedal right up to the brake pedal switch, and right near that is going to be this gray connector, and that gray connector happens to be the same connector that apparently is used on Fords. And we take our adapter harness with the 6-pin end and snap that right in there. Now, the budget LR4 is kind of a workhorse for me, and we'll be seeing a little bit more trailer time. So I'm going to mount this in a convenient location. I'm thinking right about there. So for that, we're just going to need a little bit of wire sticking through. And I'm going to sneak it by the OBD2 port so we don't have to pop any holes in anything. And I took that optional zip tie and went around that bracket, so we keep that harness up out of the way and from having any chance of interfering with the brake pedal itself. That was pretty difficult to install. Now we can put our lower panel back on. We have our one plug, and then we have these pegs, 2 of them, that go into those 2 holes in the sound deadening. You just got to make sure you keep your harness tucked out and screw everything back together. So now we're just left with mounting this here. And if you've never had this panel underneath the steering wheel off your LR4, it's that difficult. 2 clips on the top and a couple little slide hinges on the bottom. Now I had that brake controller on a different LR4 in the past, so we're gonna use that panel, which I already punched holes in for the bracket, and not punch unnecessary holes in another one. We'll save this in case someday we want one without holes in it. I lied, we need a flat blade screwdriver too. And there we have a nice simple install of a trailer brake controller. As you can see, hitting that button lights that up along with hitting the brake pedal. That simple little install is one of the key factors in making your LR3, LR4, Range Rover Sport a much more capable towing vehicle. And frankly, a lot less nerve-wracking, which is good because we have a few things to haul around with the LR4 this week. We're gonna put it to work. It's always nice when making a Land Rover better is quick and simple. With that being said, appreciate you guys watching, appreciate you subscribing, and we will catch you on the next one. Stay tuned because life is getting interesting. I mean, it's never not around here.